We are very invested in making sure that our patients and our community in the Bronx have access to not only the best care, but also the cutting-edge research and the most innovative treatments. We have an integrated acute care learning health system where we have research that actually occurs within our clinical infrastructure. Clinical trials are looking at the next best treatment for our patients with sepsis, with respiratory failure, ARDS, cardiac arrest, or whatever critical illness there might be.
The Bronx is the poorest urban county in the United States. Access to healthcare is not great. A lot of people are working multiple jobs that even if they have the access, they don't have time to go to the physicians. I think we see more unusual presentations of diseases here at Montefiore Einstein, more tricky cases. And some of that is due to our extremely diverse patient population, both in terms of race and ethnicity and country of origin. There are a lot of patients who are only recently in the United States, and so we may see diseases that don't typically appear in the United States. So all of that will lead to us seeing more cases where the answer is not immediately apparent.
We have neurologists, we have pulmonary critical care doctors, we have internal medicine critical care doctors, emergency medicine, we have surgeons, we have surgical subspecialties, we have anesthesiologists, and all combined together to make sure that patients get the care they need. I have colleagues who all have different types of training, and I could ask them for advice, they can ask me for advice, and I think the patients really get great care that way. So in terms of the rapid response team, that's a really vital part of what we do in critical care. From our standpoint, we want to deliver the right care to the right patient at the right time, and that's irrespective of location. Not everybody who's critically ill is in an ICU, or at least not in an ICU yet. And we have to make sure that they still get the required care to the highest possible level. We see them in the emergency department when necessary. We see them on medical floors. We certainly see them in the ICUs. So when the rapid response team is called, that triggers the response from a respiratory therapist, internal medicine residents, a critical care attending, and a critical care fellow, as well as often a physician assistant or nurse practitioner. And we could help do stabilization of the patients. We can help do needed procedures that the patient might need. Rather than waiting for them to come to the ICU, they could start those things as soon as they're needed.
Critical Care Outcomes Resuscitation Science, or BCOR, our research group, is really focused on this concept of the learning health system. And what that means is, how do we take information from the bedside and use that to learn what works in the real world clinical practice. And once we learn from real world clinical practice through a number of different mechanisms, whether that's an embedded clinical trial, an observational study using data, we then take that information back to the bedside and we implement what we know is best practice. And then we learn from that again. Here at Montefiore Einstein, we do a lot of work in cardiac arrest. Through my work on the cardiac arrest committee here, in coordination with a large team of other physicians and nurses and other specialties. In addition, we are at the forefront of research in cardiac arrest. So we are conducting a number of clinical trials in this space. We test new therapies for post-cardiac arrest care, things that might protect the brain after cardiac arrest.
We are fortunate that we have a number of physician scientists who are experts in their field, who actually are the ones designing the trials, designing the research. As such, we have the opportunity that we're often called upon to lead and to serve on panels that develop the clinical practice guidelines that sets the standard of care for all of the patients across the world.
We do a host of simulations. Some we do in our sim center, and we do a rapid response and code leadership training for internal medicine residents before they become code leaders, making sure that they know how to do not just the physical tasks, but also how to lead a team and work together and learn the so-called non-technical skills that are important for emergencies.
When you are in the ICU, oftentimes you kind of lose your train of time and place. You don't know what happened when. So a lot of different things are contributing to delirium, confusion, encephalopathy, not to mention the medical illness that brought you to the ICU. So an ICU diary is really something that the patients can document, kind of just write down what happened every day, what the doctors told you, what you're feeling, who you met. And when you leave the ICU, you can revisit it and it can help kind of create a cohesive narrative for yourself.
We have a pretty large critical care medicine fellowship program, and it's actually one of the oldest programs in the country. Our 18 fellows are really integrated into our learning health system in that they are part of every single project, whether it's research or quality improvement that we do, not just as observers, but as active participants. They get a lot of structured mentorship during their time here, and we see a lot of our fellows getting mentorship in order to design their own study ideas, in order to come up with the analysis, in order to disseminate these results as well.
So among the research that we do, involves actually observational studies using our robust data infrastructure that has been funded by the CDC, the NIH, where we are able to actually use data science algorithms like machine learning algorithms to create a risk prediction to identify those patients that may be in need of special interventions. But we also are very active in both NIH and other federally funded clinical trials that not only look at the newest treatments, but also actually embedded pragmatic comparative effectiveness trials to understand what existing treatment or what processes of care can be optimized for our patients' outcomes.